Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Respected participants, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And I welcome you all to this 60th meeting of this academic year. In total, we have now organized around 87 meetings. The basic idea of SEP is to make all our schools schools of excellence. So, may I request someone to recite Qiraat? May I request? Yeah, Samir, please go ahead.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم تبت يدا أبي لهب وتب ما أغنى عنه ماله وما كسب سيصلى نارا ذات لهب وامرأته حمالة الحطب في جيدها حبل من مسد صدق الله العظيم.
Jazakumullahu khairan jazaa. Respected participants, this particular meeting supposed to be attended by the principals as well as the management people. But we have not invited them because we know that this is half-yearly examination period, and most of the schools, they have vacation as well as they have this correction work and report making. So we didn't invite. So inshallah, in the month of January, we will have a full-fledged program, inshallah, so that the managements can understand what type of development is taking place because of, this SEP project. Okay. In the last week, we had given few assignments, right? So all these assignments, we want you all to complete. It's not a very big deal. First of all, every school must have an accreditation coordinator, and it should be formally, appointed. An appointment letter must be issued to the concerned individual by name. Okay, and specimen of this appointment letter has been already posted in the SEP group. We request all the schools to make one person as an accreditation coordinator. Then coming to the SWOT analysis. Now, this is the time when the school observes vacation. Most of the students are not there, except for higher classes. Sometimes special classes might be there. So this is a very right moment when you conduct a SWOT analysis and try to understand what are the internal and external factors affecting the quality education in your institution. What are your strengths and what are your weaknesses? Honestly, you'll have to make. And these are the internal factors. Then opportunities and threats, or again, it is pertaining to your organization, but they are external factors, right? So this is a very right time. I request all the schools to conduct a SWOT analysis. If any school needs support, we do not know how to conduct this. So I request you all to choose one peer. Peer learning is really very beneficial. So if some school needs support, some schools like others, like Sana School, Imam Shafi School, Al-Huda School, Bangalore, they all can give you handhold guidance, and they are ready to adopt one school, and such people can register their names so that I may just request you all to raise your hands if you need any support. Those schools, those who are not appointed accreditation coordinator, not conducted SWOT analysis, may have raise of hands. And we will support you, and one school will adopt, one school which has already reached certain level of excellence, they will adopt the other school and they will give handhold guidance. Right, we are here. We are here to help you. Those who are interested, they can very well contact our Alia Khan madam. She will be coordinating this, and we are ready to help you out. Now, coming to once you conduct this SWOT analysis, there will be n number of points. Your points might be strengths as well as weaknesses. Strengths, you will have to analyze how beneficial those points are. Weaknesses, you need to find out solutions for that and see that your organization improves, right? And opportunities and threats, again, they are from the external side. They are not internal to the organization. Then how to tackle this, how to explore those opportunities, how to tackle the threats. So now you have a number of points lined up. Then you'll have to prioritize them, which is more important, which is going to give better results. So you need to address them one by one, inshallah. This will take your institution to the next level, right? And it's not that once you conduct a SWOT analysis and you got the points, you started working on it, but there has to be a regular schedule. For example, once in a year or twice in a year, that I will have to mention and conduct exactly during that time, right? Then also, we need to understand who are our stakeholders. And these stakeholders' expectations are there. And these expectations, are to be addressed. To give an example, our neighboring country, Bangladesh, this particular country, it is affected by severe floods every year, okay. The schools will be shut for most of the time because there will be a lot of water inundation, floods, and the schools remain closed. Now, so this is the problem. And this is not within the purview of the school. And this is an external threat. In the SWOT analysis, it will come under the fourth quadrant, that is T, right? Now this particular threat, somebody has come forward to address that in a way that he started a floating school, right, in boats. He started school on boats. He started a library on boat. He started a training center on a boat. He started teaching, students on boat. Whether it rains or doesn't rain, then if there is a flood and there is no flood, it doesn't make any difference. And the school continued, alhamdulillah. See, this is how we try to address all those issues which are identified using the SWOT analysis, right? So this is one project that the gentleman has taken up, and really it helps them a lot. And they had floating libraries, floating training center. They taught the women stitching, all such things. So where there is a will, there is a way, right? Now, again, we had given one more assignment that you need to make a school management committee, right? So here again, who are supposed to be the members that you need to understand, then what are their roles and responsibilities are to be defined. Finally, we have already done action research, and these action research projects, this will help you in understanding and addressing all the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threat, all those points. And that will help you to grow further, right? So these are the few assignments which we had given earlier in the last week. Now, if you see this particular annual assignments which we gave you, here we have very clearly given that TSDP you are supposed to do at least 2 per month. So in this academic year, you should have completed at least 10 TSDP sessions. TSDP session is Teacher Skill Development Program. Then at least 4 newsletters you must have published in this academic year. Then quality management service training you should have attended. Then action research you should have completed at least 2 projects. Then you should have shared your best practices, at least 2. Then in our character building chart, you should have implemented at least 4 themes. Then reflection sessions. Then youth empowerment session, you should have completed at least 2, right? This academic. So this is what we discussed in the last meeting, right? Now coming to the next program, right? Ms. Alia, do you have any other program like, is there anyone ready for reflections or sharing best practices?
No, I didn't get any response from morning. I
Right.
put the message in the WhatsApp.
Right. In this month of December, you won't get any response. Inshallah, in January, I'm not there trying. Now we'll have to, instead of asking volunteers, you'll have to assign them next week onwards, inshallah. That they will do that, inshallah. Okay. Now I'm going to take you to a different perspective. Like you need to understand certain things, terminologies. We'll be, inshallah, we'll be making a quality manual, right? Quality accreditation, school accreditation manual we'll be making. So these manuals are the documents which will be referred by the inspection team, right? So quality management system manual, this particular manual, it will have 4 aspects. One is, in that manual, you will say what you do, right? Whatever practices you are already practicing, these ought to be, informed. You are supposed to say what you do. And you already said something. Sometimes we express that and we don't do. So the next point is the quality management system, this manual. Once you have declared something that we are going to do, for example, we will be conducting a SWOT analysis twice in a year. This you have mentioned. So you are supposed to conduct the SWOT analysis twice in a year, right? So do what you say. First you say what you do, then do what you say, right? While making manual, you generally say, the manual says what you do, right? Once you have said, it has become a manual. Now, sometimes to add flavor to that, sometimes we add certain things as frills. Sometimes we might not practice that. So now the point number 2 says, do what you say. If I say that, yes, I'm going to conduct a SWOT analysis in 30th June and 31st December, just for example. So you're supposed to do that. Or the last week of June, the last week of December, conduct that. So do what you say. Then it's very important, prove what you do. You need to have a record. You need to have a record of that. Yes, you must be having, a meeting circular first. Then the proceedings will be recorded as minutes, and the president of the SMC will be signing it, so that becomes a record. Then review and improve. Now, you have done something in the month of June, you have done that SWOT analysis, you have created the records, and you have started reviewing them, started implementing. In the next SMC or the SWOT analysis, you are going to review what was identified earlier and what you have in the areas where you have improved, what are the fresh points, right? This leads to the PDCA cycle, plan, do, check, and act. Plan, do, check, and act, PDCA cycle, okay? So that becomes room for, that lays room for a continued improvement. So generally, we'll be, subsequently what we'll be doing, we will be preparing our quality manual. Now, whatever we discuss so far, for example, in this, okay, this assignments, what we have done. So appointment of accreditation coordinator will be part of your school accreditation manual. Once you did a SWOT analysis, the SWOT analysis procedure, how you did, and all these things will be part of that. Then how did you understand the expectations of the stakeholder? Then how did you, make your school management committee, their roles and responsibilities? Then action research, why do we do? All these things will be part of, the school manual, right? School accreditation manual. Now the inspection team, generally they will come and see the accreditation manual and they will start asking you, you have written this, right? Are you following? You say that, yes, we do a 2 action research every term. Every term we do 2 action research. Then they will ask you, where is the evidence? So you should have a separate file for action research. Then you will show, sir, this is the action research file, and this is the person in charge for that. And this person has done, this is the action research. And these are the problems which were identified. And these identified problems were addressed like this. This is the statistics before the intervention. And this is the statistics of after the intervention. And this is how it has improved. And that continues improving. And we are reviewing at regular intervals. This is how the inspection goes off, right? I hope I'm clear. Now, we need to understand 2 things here. I said document, then I said record, right? Document and record. The difference between a document and record, anybody? What is a document? What is a record? Now,
document.
Please go ahead, madam.
Yeah. Documentation is you are documenting the things, the situations and everything, whatever there, you are just writing, pen it down, that is you are documenting it. Record keeping is the next, whatever you have documented, now you are working upon it in action plan, and that action plan has to be recorded, that become the record of that documentations.
Thank you very much for your sharing.
It's something that I understand about it.
Right.
That whatever is in action, that if you are recording that action, that is a record keeping. And documenting means there is something in your mind that you are penning it down, that is documentation.
Thank you. Try to understand.
I hope I...
Yeah, you're right. I'll put it in a very simple method. For example, every school has a manual, for example, manual. In that, we have specimen copies for leave application for staff, right? You have inter-office memo. There is a format. All these things are there, part of the school manual. That becomes a document. Now, teacher XYZ, she picks up a leave application form, which is as per the approved document, right? It is there in the manual. She takes a copy and she fills it, right? For example, Mrs. Shaista, and she fills, I require leave for so and so date, and this is the reason. Now, this is pertaining to that particular teacher, right? This is record. Once a record is created, it cannot be altered. A document can be reviewed and changed. I hope I have conveyed the message, right? A document is, you can say, as a template, and something is filled in that, and that is presented for some record, some purpose, that becomes a record, right? So you must have, now, for example, now you make school accreditation manual. That will become a document, right? It will have all policies and procedures, your vision, mission document, right? Everything documented. Now, that vision, mission can be altered, and every year you can go for a new vision, mission. That's up to you. So you can change. Now, there are certain aspects which you fill certain data, then that becomes a record. Your attendance register, when it is coming afresh and you purchase and you distribute it to all, that's a new document. Now the children's name are written. Now it becomes pertaining to one particular class, few particular students. Then you start marking on this particular day, a child was present, he was absent, he was on leave. That becomes a record. I hope I conveyed this message, right? Okay. Now, one more thing, we need to understand what is a process. You need to understand what is a process and what is a system. A process is a set of interrelated activities which converts an input to an output, right? A set of interrelated activities which converts inputs into an output, right? You must understand this. Now, you need a cup of coffee and a hot cup of coffee. So what are the ingredients you will use and what are the steps you will follow? That will be a process. So you need to have a measured quantity of water, milk, sugar, right? Whatever it is. And there is a process. You need to have proper utensils. You need to have a heating source. And you must know how much it should boil and how much. And when you are supposed to mix the ingredients, you need to stir. You need to, filter it out. And you need cups and saucers to serve and a tray to present it. All such thing becomes a part of small activities, and the entire thing will be a process of coffee making, correct? Now, we must also understand what is a system. What is a system? Now, take this example of a breakfast, wherein you have toast, you have orange juice, we have omelets, we have coffee. Now, each item of the menu has its own process. Coffee making is a process. Omelette is a process. Orange juice making is a process. Toast. All put together, it is presented as a complete set of breakfast. Then that is called a system. Many processes, and they are interrelated, and they form a system. So understand this. Okay. Once you understand, now it will be easy for us to define our processes and what are the systems. Now, the school as a whole, it will be a big system, right? It's a big system. Then there are subsystems like admission. Then we have teaching learning process. Then we have co-curricular activities. Then we have religious education. Then we have examination process. Then school recognition. Like this, there are so many processes, and all put together, they make up into a system, right? Now, you all have to start thinking about the various processes which you follow. For example, somebody is walking in with a child into a school. Now the input is a child with his or her father. Now, ultimately, they want to admit the child, and the output will be an admitted student of the school. Now, what are the small activities which are interrelated that will convert an input into an output? The input is, the child and the parent walking into the school for admission, and finally an admitted student of the school, and the parent goes happily that he has admitted one of the best schools in the area. Okay. Now these are the two things. Now you need to understand this concept, right? Now the customer, right? The input, then we have product realization, then we have measurement and analysis, management responsibility, the resource management, then finally the product output will be there. Then if the customer is happy, satisfied, again, that becomes repeated customers or referrals. If he is not happy, then it's going to be a negative aspect on our school. Then unhappy customer will definitely will not recommend our school or our product. So we need to have corrective actions. Either way, there is a PDCA cycle operating here, right? The customer, any activity, any industry, any organization will have customers. Their satisfaction is of much importance. So you need to understand who are our customers and what is that they are expecting from us. These two areas, customers' expectation, if we understand, that paves way for the complete schools, ecosystem, right? So for that only, we had to conduct the SWOT analysis, as well as we need to understand the expectations of all these stakeholders, right? So recent time, we had, for the past 2-3 years, we were asking our students to write this Latifi 40 exam. We were asking them to write IIT JEE, asking them to join NEET or IIT JEE coaching classes. But they were not understanding, they were not taking it serious, right? Now, our customer is student, and the parents' expectation is they should go and study in institutions of repute. Now, this is one expectation of the parents as well as the school. But student is not taking that as, a liking for it, right? Now, this is the gap, right? This gap is to be filled. So we thought of, showing them the photographs of various IITs, NITs, and we try to motivate students by bringing good speakers, and nothing worked out. So recently, you all must be knowing that we took our students to NIT Trichy. We arranged a nice program, and the students traveled in our school buses, and they reached there. And they had very good hospitality. They were taken around, they were shown the robotic lab, on physical lab. All these things, when they saw, and the complete institution was spick and span, and they could see intellectuals, and they could meet, and their talk was so appealing to them, and the environment was totally different. Now, the student, they themselves, they come and ask us, sir, I want to study in NIT. Now tell me how to do that. And they have come up with, now it is internally driven. We need not to do anything. And you cannot send everybody to IITs and NIT. But there are students who have potential to go there. So here, as a customer, as my management, they want the students to be admitted in NIT. Parent as customer, they want their children to study, right? If you take student as customer, that gap is existing. They were not knowing the importance of, right, studying in IIT and NIT, right? Now, these customer expectations are put as inputs, right? Resource management. So you need to visit NITs, contact right people, apply. Then once the permission is availed, then you need to organize the complete tour program, right? Then resource management is done. Product realization. Now these gentlemen, they've gone there, and the behavior was good, and the way they interacted, that was good. And the resource persons also shared very valuable information, right? Now, before going, the temperament of the institution, the students, or their expectation was something else. The measurement and analysis, after coming back, majority of them, they say, sir, even the staff, they said that, sir, so far I had an idea of making my son a doctor. After seeing this NIT, I feel IIT JEE also to be explored, right? So this is the measurement analysis. How many people went and how many people have, shifted their idea, and how many the changes what has happened, right? Now it is management's responsibility that I should provide right type of resources, right type of environment in school, so that the children get trained for preparing to IIT JEE exams. So sometimes I might not get results, or I might get results that might not be, to my expected standard. So again, I'll have to mobilize my resources, then product realization. This will be a PDCA cycle. Ultimately, you'll find that in another 2 years, our students are studying there. Hopefully, you understood what is this, the continuous improvement, what is the cycle, right? PDCA cycle. So this is how institution. Now, we just took one small area, and we did our work like this. So like this, we need to define, we need to identify the SWOT, right? Strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threat. Then we need to prioritize, and we need to address them. To address that, we need to have so many processes, and the processes are nothing but they are interrelated activities which will happen one after another, and that will convert one input to output. You must understand this concept. Then multiple processes form a system. If you want to improve the system, all the processes have to improve. And you should know what is a process, right? And you must know what are the expectations of the customers. For that, you must understand who is your customer first. Once that customer is known to you, now I said here itself, I counted 3 customers. The customers One is the management itself is a customer. It expects the students of that particular school to study in an institution of repute. That is one expectation of the customer. Another customer I'm referring, the parents, they want that their children to study in such places. The third customer I said, the teachers. The teachers were not knowing the importance of studying in NIT. They themselves, they saw and they were also boosted up. And then finally, the students, those who were not showing any interest towards any of the entrance examination, now they're desperate, sir, tell us how to go about. Okay, so the customer, you must know what are the expectations you must know. Then you need to mobilize your resources, you need to manage them, then realize the product and see that a measurement and analysis that forms the PDCA cycle. So with that, shall we stop now, inshallah? Over to you, Samir bhai.
The PDCA cycle, I think you didn't show any slide for that.
PDCA, that's a very normal thing everybody must be knowing. Plan, do, check, and act. Plan, do, check, and act. That's all. PDCA.
No,
It will be
there
just
no
a
slide
circle.
for that.
Yeah, I should. No, Google PDCA cycle. See, anything. See, can you see this PDCA cycle? Check and act, right? So this is how the continual improvement takes place. Inshallah, once you understand, these are very simple things, and don't try to complicate your systems. Make it very simple. Let it work, and let it take its own shape. But you must know what you're doing. You must be very consciously doing, because whatever you must know the customers, you must know their expectations, you must know the SWOT, you must know what is the process, what is the system, what is PDCA cycle, and who all are your customers, what are their expectations. That's as simple as that. And you will definitely, you'll see that if you start, you take anything, any process, for example, recruitment as a process, you see what are the problems which is happening. And you have a proper process, you'll have a series of, I'll give you that recruitment process as well in the next week, inshallah. So like this, continuously we can improve and see that our schools become schools of excellence. Jazakumullahu khair. Assalamu alaikum. Over to you, Sandeep.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I think, does Rizwan Bhai have anything to say?
No, sir.
I have this Wednesday, what we had was, I'll share my screen.
Yes, please.
So every Wednesday we have a topic in the West Zone. So today's topic, because it's not school related, so it was on wives of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and a quiz based to that. So I have that as a topic. If you want, otherwise, if Rizwan Bhai has anything, we can share that.
Go ahead, Sandeep.
Yeah. So this is related that Huzur Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he had 11 wives, and there are reasons for each and every marriage. So we had a small video of 7 minutes to show. And then after that, we followed it up with a quiz. So quiz was, will be shared at the end of that. So most of the answers are already there in the video itself. And the quiz is in 2 levels. This is the easy level. Next week, once we get the answers, we'll put the advanced level quiz on the same topic. So I'll share my screen. And I'll share sound also. Sound is not. Please let me know if you can hear the sound.
आते हो तुम बच्चों के लिए, बीवी अपने बच्चों के लिए, खामिद के लिए। मेरे नबी ने हमें 11 घरों से जिंदगी सिखाई कि घर में जिंदगी कैसे गुजारनी। अब झाड़ू दे रहे हैं, आप हैरान होंगे, मैं भी बिल्कुल हैरान हो जाता हूँ। 9 बीवियां जिंदा थीं जब आपका इंतकाल हुआ, कपड़े सारी जिंदगी अपने खुद धोए, बीवी से कपड़े नहीं धुलवाए। फट गया है, आयशा जरा सी देना, नहीं, खुद सुई धागा उठा के सी। जूता टूट गया है, मैमूना जरा मेरा जूता ठीक कर, नहीं, जूता उठा के खुद ठीक किया है। यहां चाय पे बेइज्जत और होती हैं बीवियां, तो ठंडी चाय देती है। बटन पे बेइज्जत हो रही होती हैं, तो उन्हें मेरा बटन नहीं लगा। जिंदगी सिखाई, घर वालों के साथ काम करना सिखाया, इजहार मोहब्बत सिखाया। मैं आपको सीरत के वो पहलू बता रहा हूं जो हमारी जिंदगी को इंतहाई खूबसूरत बना देंगे। आप अजीब हदीस सुनाऊं आपको। आपने कहा, या आयशा, इन्नहु लयहव्वनु अलैयल मौत अन उरीतु की ज़ौजती फिल जन्नह। आयशा, और अल्लाह की कसम ये दिलदारी और हमें सिखाने के लिए था। आयशा, जब से मुझे पता चला है तू जन्नत में भी मेरी बीवी है, मुझे तो मौत ही अच्छी लगने लग गई। अल्लाह अकबर, अल्लाह अकबर। अरब के माहौल में उस दौर में बीवी से इजहार मोहब्बत ऐब था, और माशूका के लिए पूरी शेर व शायरी भरी पड़ी। बानत सुआदन फ़क़ल्बी मिन्हु मबतूलु लौ क़ब्ल मबकाहा बक़ैतु सबाबतन बिसौदा शफ़ैतु नफ्स क़ब्लन तनद्दुमी वलौ अन्ना वहल तबकीन लैला इज़ा मित्तु क़ब्लहा वक़ाम अला क़ब्रिन निसाउन नवाइहु कमा लो असाबल मौतु लैला। गौर करना, लैला का नाम आ रहा है। बक़ैतुहा वजाद लहा दमअन मिनल ऐन साफ़िहु व अग़बतु मिन लैला बिमा ला अनालुहु बला कुल्लु मा क़र्रत बिहिल ऐनु ताइहु वलो अन्न लैलल उख़ैलियत सल्लमत अलैय वदूनी जंदलुन व सफ़ाइहु। मैंने थोड़ा सा नकाब कुशाई की है। अरब की तहज़ीब में माशूका से इजहार मोहब्बत शायरी भरी पड़ी है। बीवी से इजहार मोहब्बत गूंगे हो जाते थे, ऐब। बच्चे को प्यार करना, उठाना, ऐब। और मेरे नबी हसन हुसैन को यहाँ उठा के बाहर आ जाते थे, और यहाँ नहीं, कभी यहाँ बिठाया होता था, यहाँ बिठा के बाहर आ जाते थे। इतनी बड़ी अजमतें। एक बद्दू कहने लगा, या रसूल अल्लाह, ये क्या? उसको हजम नहीं हुआ, ये क्या? आपको इनसे इतना प्यार है? आपने कहा, हाँ, मैं भी करता हूँ, मेरा अल्लाह भी इनसे प्यार करता, मेरा अल्लाह भी इनसे प्यार करता। और जो इनसे प्यार करेगा अल्लाह उनसे प्यार करेगा, जो इनसे बुग़्ज़ रखेगा अल्लाह उनसे बुग़्ज़ रखेगा। अब माहौल ये है कि बीवी से इजहार मोहब्बत एक ऐब है। माशूक के लिए मैंने आपको अशार सुना दिए, नक़द। इस फिज़ा माहौल में एक शख्स आकर कहता है, या रसूल अल्लाह, मन अहब्बुन्नास इलैक, आपको सबसे ज़्यादा किससे प्यार है? और महफिल है, तन्हाई नहीं, कान में नहीं। आपने बुलंद आवाज से फरमाया, आयशा से। वो हिल गया, वो ऐसा हिला कि वो, या रसूल अल्लाह, मेरा मतलब ये नहीं है, मेरा मतलब है मर्दां जो कौन प्यारा है। उसको हजम नहीं हुआ बेगम का नाम लेना, कान ना आशना है ये आवाज सुनने के लिए। आयशा से, या रसूल अल्लाह, मेरा मतलब है दसो मर्दां जो कौन प्यारा है। तो अब आपको पता चल गया भी इसको मेरी बात हजम नहीं हुई। अब आपने कहना था अबू बकर, तो आपने अबू बकर नहीं कहा, आपने कहा आयशा के अब्बा से। उस सिर नीवा कीता चाया ही कोई नहीं। मेरे भाई बहनों, मेरे नबी एक जिंदगी सिखा कर, آپ آٹا گوندھ کے دیتے تھے حضرت عائشہ کو، جو کہ ان کو آٹا گوندھنا شروع میں آتا نہیں تھا. جب بیٹھتے حضرت عائشہ گلاس اٹھا کے پانی پیتی، رکھ دیا. اللہ کے نبی گلاس اٹھا کر جہاں حضرت عائشہ نے پیا تھا وہاں سے ہونٹ لگا کے پیتے تھے. یہ اظہار محبت. گوشت کے بڑے بڑے ٹکڑے پکائے جاتے تھے عرب میں، تو حضرت عائشہ گوشت کا کوئی پیس اٹھایا، 2-3 جگہ سے اس کو نوچا کاٹا، رکھ دیا. روٹی کا لقمہ اٹھایا تو اللہ کے نبی اٹھا کر جہاں سے حضرت عائشہ نے کھایا ہوتا تھا دکھا کے وہاں سے کھاتے تھے. یہ اظہار محبت تھا، اللہ کی قسم، سکھانے کے لیے. آپ نماز میں تشریف لے گئے ہیں، سجدے میں گئے اور سجدہ لمبا ہو گیا، اتنا لمبا ہوا کہ صحابہ سمجھے آپ کا انتقال ہو گیا. عبداللہ بن مسعود فرماتے ہیں میں نے سر اٹھا کے دیکھا، پہلی صف والوں کو تو دیکھنا آسان تھا، تو میں نے دیکھا حسن حسین آپ کی کمر پہ بیٹھے ہوئے کھیل رہے تھے اور میرے نبی سجدے میں پڑے ہوئے تھے. سجدہ نفلوں کا نہیں تھا، فرض نماز کا باجماعت. تو وہ کہنے کہ میں آگے بڑھ کے ان کو نیچے اتارنے لگا، تو آپ نے یہاں سے دیکھا بغلوں سے ہاتھ آ رہا ہے، تو آپ نے سجدے میں یوں تھے نا، تو آپ نے ایسے کی، نہیں اتارنا. جب تک بچے اوپر کھیلتے رہے آپ سجدے میں پڑے رہے. کیا باپ کوئی کر کے دکھائے، کوئی سڑ جا پہ ہوں تو اسے لتر لا لینا. نماز پڑھ رہے ہیں تو اسی وچ آ گئے ہو. جب وہ اترے خود اپنی مرضی سے تو پھر آپ نے سجدے سے سر اٹھایا اور پھر سلام پھیرتے ہی دونوں بچوں کو گود میں لے کر کہا بے ابی ہما و امی لا تؤذوہما، میرے ماں باپ ان پہ قربان، انہیں کچھ نہ کہا کر. آپ اپنے نوکروں کے ساتھ بیٹھ کے کھانا کھاتے تھے، اپنے غلاموں کے ساتھ بیٹھ کے کھانا کھاتے تھے. ہم نے کہا جو خود پہنتے ہو انہیں پہناؤ، جو خود کھاتے ہو انہیں کھلاؤ. ہمارے گھروں میں کام کرنے والیوں کے برتن الگ ہوتے ہیں، ہمارے برتن الگ ہوتے ہیں، ہمارے گلاس الگ ہوتے ہیں، ان کے گلاس الگ ہوتے ہیں. عطا اللہ شاہ بخاری رحمۃ اللہ علیہ امرتسر میں آئے تقریر کرنے، تو کھانا کھا رہے تھے، تو ایک غیر مسلم گزرا، ہندو تھا عیسائی تھا جو تھا، کہنے لگا آجا کھانا کھا لے میرے ساتھ. کہنے لگا جی تسی شاہ جی ہو، تو میں تو میں پلیت جی ہاں، تو نہیں میں نہیں آنا، ادھر آ، اس کو بٹھا لے کھا. اور وہ کھائے نہیں ڈر کا مارا، تو ایک آلو اٹھا کر اس کے منہ میں ڈالا، منہ میں ڈال کے آدھا نکال لیا اور وہ آدھا خود کھا لیا. اس نے اگلا لفظ پھر نہیں بولا، نا اگلا لقمہ اٹھایا، تیزی سے اٹھا، شاہ جی کے کھانا کھانے سے پہلے اپنے سارے بیوی بچوں کو لے کے آ کر کہنے لگا شاہ جی کلمہ پڑھا دے. نبی کی سیرت پڑھو، نبی کی زندگی پڑھو، ہر چیز آپ کو وہاں سے ملے گی. کوئی وظیفے پڑھنے پہ لگا ہوا ہے، کوئی پیسہ کمانے پہ لگا ہوا ہے کہ اس سے ٹھیک ہو جائے. اللہ کی قسم زندگی کا حسن صرف میرے نبی کے طریقوں سے.
Sorry, this was one of the videos. There's one more, but we don't have time. Like I'll share the links of them in the chat so that you can see it yourself. So this is.
In SEP, you can share something, because
Yeah, I shared it in the group. No.
yeah, it's better.
Yeah, I share it in the group because once the meeting ends, it goes away. Yeah, and then what we have done is this is a quiz. So I think I've shared the link of the quiz also, or people have already started responding to it. All the greens are the right answers. I'm sorry, I should not be showing any answers. So this is the quiz. I'll share the link of the quiz so you can answer it. It's only 12 questions. This is the easy one. So inshallah, the link of the quiz, I'll share it in. Again, I've already shared that in the MFERD SEP group, and I can share it in Zoom. the current one which has come, this is the link for the quiz. So what we learned from here is again how the kind of akhlaq that we should be having towards everybody who is working under us, inshallah. Again, that also the other day, working under me would not be right to say they're all working under me. They're working for us, inshallah, for the organization, serving our customers, inshallah. So that's all for today, inshallah. Over to Dr. Azam Bhai.
Jazakumullahu khairan jaza. So, Mr. week, inshallah. Hopefully, you'll be completing all your assignments. Definitely, all our schools will become schools of excellence. Jazakumullahu khair. Subhanallah bihamdihi. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik. Wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun. Salamun ala al-mursalin. Alhamdulillah. Assalamu alaikum.
You can leave it open so that people can copy the link on them for some time.